Okay. All right, we are live, and until people join, you got any
Sure.
you got any musician jokes?
Oh, Jesus. Oh, dang it. Yeah, I had one. Frick, I can't remember it though.
I've got one that I always use that you probably have heard.
Okay.
What do you call a guy that hangs around with a bunch of musicians?
Homeless? No, just
A
kidding. Oh,
drummer.
drummer. Yeah, that's right.
Oh,
I thought
I
there
got
was
another
one.
one. I got another one. How
Okay,
do you,
okay.
and this is I play guitar, so this is okay to make fun of guitar players. How do you get a guitar player to turn down?
How?
Put sheet music in front of him.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny because it's true.
Do you
Totally.
read? Like, do you read sheet music and
I
can you do all
don't.
that? Yeah,
I
me too.
don't. It's been like a secret, passion of mine that I've wanted to.
Yeah.
But now, I'm using this. It's amazing, and I'm sure it's just going to get even crazier. I use this new app called Scalar. Have you seen that?
Taylor, I need to check it out. What is it?
Yeah. So basically, they got all these amazing piano players to put chords and the voicings, and you can put it to your MIDI controller and just hit one note, and it makes like the beautiful chords. And you just go down the line, and it has like a chord progression. So now I'm like, do I need to learn theory and recite? Because like by the end, it just sounds like I'm an amazing
You're
piano
amazing.
player.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So I'm sure it's gonna get even
like
crazier.
is it a plug-in within Logic or Pro Tools or something?
Yeah, it's a plugin you can get, and you can use it on any digital audio workstation. So
Awesome.
it's like my new favorite thing. All of my new YouTube videos are all geared towards Scalar because it's crazy.
That's
Yeah. Now I'm like, do I have to learn? I mean, uh,
Oh, that's awesome. All right, so we have some people watching. Welcome everybody.
yay. Hello,
I'm Brad with
QSC family.
QSC. Yeah, and I'm here. I'm super happy that Alex has joined me here he's from Aloha Radio. And so what do you do in the band? Give us a little rundown on the band.
Sure, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the band's been together for we're going on over 10 years now. It was started by Lauren, our lead singer, myself, and our drummer Chris. And we've had a few iterations with bass players, and now it's back to just us three. And yeah, so we've been like best friends in a band for
10 years.
yeah, over 10
Did
years.
you guys feel like
And
in grade school together or something?
no, Chris and I are a little older. So Lauren was in grade school when we found her. No, just kidding.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, no, but we all started kind of in Lauren's solo project, and we were playing like country folk, and we were like, wait a minute, we're from California. We all surf. We all love surf music, and so we were just like one day like, let's kind of switch our sound, and so we
Yeah.
kind of started down this path of surf reggae, and we've never looked back. So
Yeah.
it's been amazing.
So what city are you based in?
We're in Seal Beach.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so Seal Beach, that's kind of Orange County area, Southern
Yes.
California.
Yeah.
And so the core members, you,
Mhm.
and you have bass and drums, right? And
Yeah.
Lauren,
Yeah.
and she
Yeah.
plays ukulele
Exactly. And
and
electric guitar.
oh yeah, that's right. So
Mhm.
I played a gig with Cali Conscious that you guys
Mhm.
played either before or after us. I can't remember. Was it like a big? Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, that was really cool.
That was fun, except for the whoever was planning it either didn't get the changeovers or
Mhm.
figured that out, and whoever
Yep,
was running sound was having a tough time.
they were.
And so we got on stage, we kind of got all of our lines kind of working, and they're like, "Okay, you got two songs."
I love that place
One of
for
those
that reason.
nights,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Oh, and the weather was super bad. It was supposed to be outside, and then they
Yeah.
moved it
Yeah.
inside. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, luckily they didn't have to just cancel, and they had the locker room, which is a super cool venue in itself.
Yeah. All right. So we'll try to, for those of you watching, today is going to be kind of a tech talk, but we'll try to keep it short and concise and not drag on and on. But so Alex and Aloha Radio, you guys played before COVID, let's just say, lots of live shows, and many of them you have to kind of be in charge of running sound. And so I wanted you to just, if you could, just kind of walk me through your sort of process of setting up, and sort of like give us your inputs, and maybe any tips and tricks on if you have to run sound and play at the same time.
Sure.
Yeah.
So luckily every venue we go, there's normally a house guy. So, as long as has some sort of knowledge about live mixing, and you would be surprised, some days it's their first day. Some days, he's trying out mixing on your band. So it's good to have just a base knowledge of sort of what you want your sound. Sometimes, you'll get like a guy that is used to running metal or something, so he wants the drums really loud. In our case, we want Lauren's vocals to be the thing that's shining. So we sort of start there. Our input, just a really quick touch base on that, is drums, bass. I play guitar and lap steel, which will be two separate inputs, but I don't really change over that much, so that's not too hard. And then we have her ukulele and her vocals. And then we also have backtracks, and that seems to be the biggest sort of wrench that you throw into the whole thing, is the backtracks, because a lot of people are using them, but I don't think a lot of people are used to mixing them.
Right.
So what we'll do is we'll make sure Lauren's voice is out front, my vocals kind of underneath that, and then since we're doing reggae, we like to do bass next, have like a really fat bass sound just for the overall fill of it, and then we'll go drums, and try to mainly just have the kick and the snare kind of coming through, because the cymbals already kind of push.
In most places, the cymbals kind of are loud enough, right?
Yeah, and you try to, the best thing to do is to actually work with your drummer and not rely on the sound guy, but actually like have a talk with your drummer and say, hey, tone it down on the cymbals, because that's going to be the frequency that's sort of fighting the vocals the most.
Yeah.
And then we'll have the backtracks, and the backtracks for us are usually just like pads, a few percussion elements, and then some keys. And what's been really fun is we've actually been working with the keyboard player, so we've taken some of those tracks out, and we have the exactly, he just plays it, and we have the tracks completely filled out to where even if somehow we don't have a bass player, we have the bass in the tracks, and then you're just sort of mixing for that. So
how are your backtracks sort of mixed and sent to the band?
Right. Yeah. So what's amazing with the touch mix is it has a bunch of sends in the back, and it gives you the ability for each member to have their own unique mix. So Chris usually likes to have the click, and we'll have a click in everybody's ear. He likes the click super high, and then normally like just Lauren's vocals, so we kind of can tell where he is, and then like his kick and snare. And then for Lauren, she wants sort of the chords and the tracks and maybe a little bit of drums, but we can already hear the drums pretty well, so we kind of tone that down. But yeah, like each member can have their own designated auxiliary line sent right to their packs.
Are you guys all wearing in-ears?
Yeah, we are now. There was a while, I think the last few shows we did right before lockdown, we were doing like in the wedges still. Like I didn't have a pack, so I just like did it in the wedge, and that was no problem. That's just, you just send like another dedicated mix to whatever you need.
Now, do you, like in that situation, so I think I've heard some bands where drummer gets the click only, and then he has in-ears, but everyone else is maybe a wedge mix, and he just needs to click, hit the sticks to count people in and stuff like that. So you guys been doing it before?
Yeah, exactly. We kind of started out like that with Chris. We'd all look at him, but now we're trying to get to the point where we can have like complete silence, and then the click is going, and then there's actually a vocal cue where it'll say intro 2, 3, 4, and then we all kind of start where it seems like out of just complete silence, and it just adds like another element of
professional. Yeah. That's cool, man. Yeah. That's cool. Okay, so then as far as like mixing monitors, what kind of so you're all using in-ears? and you have coming from your backtracks. Is that coming off of like a Pro Tools session, or is it like you've already pre-mixed your track, or how's that coming back?
Yeah, so it's pre-mixed in Ableton, and then what's great is with the touch mix, it allows me to sort of talk back and forth. It has like the DAW mode, or digital audio workstation mode, so I can actually send separate tracks through Ableton. So I can do all keys on line 9, all percussion on line 10, bass. Let's say our bass player isn't available, or we're just going to do like a 3-piece plus bass in the tracks. We'll send that to line 5, and now the house guy can have control over it. So I can just tell him, from on stage, like, hey man, can you turn the bass up a little bit? And then he can just have that control right there. So we can actually, you can do the normal way where you just do the 2 stereo outs, but if you have the ability to sort of mix it down even more, then it just gives you more control.
Yeah. So like that's super fancy. That's like the way. So you have a laptop connected to the TouchMix 30 Pro in DAW mode, and then you can select an Ableton different channels to basically come into one channel. So you could like mix all the keys going into the input 10 on the TouchMix, and then kind of have submixes coming in, and then everyone out in their in-ears can mix themselves with their phone, and front of house guy can mix those stems as well.
Exactly. It's insane.
Cool.
Exactly. It's so cool. And it just kind of gives you a little bit more peace of mind having that control over it. I mean, at least for me, like I like to, we have a very specific sound, and we just like to just make sure we have, kind of our hands on the whole thing.
Right. One, if you have a TouchMix 16, or you don't have a way to kind of like have Ableton and stuff like that, one way I know a lot of bands do it is they'll pre-mix their backing tracks so that it becomes a stereo file, and on the left side will be all the stuff the audience hears, and on the right side it'll just be the click track. You can have that come out of like a phone or some sort of player into 2 inputs on the mixer. And so then, like, you know what I mean? So then you have like one channel of backing and one channel of click that everyone can kind of mix themselves, which is kind of
There's a bunch of iterations and different ways to do it. And it's always good if you're going to go the fancy way that you have that like basic level ready to go as well. Like if we need to run the tracks out of the phone, then let's do that, and just have that as a backup. Yeah.
Okay. Couple more quick questions. Now, generally when I set up and stuff like that, I don't know how to describe it other than I just like my stuff taken care of the way I know it's taken care of. So I generally tell everyone else, don't worry about it. I'll set it up in the basic way, and I'll even wind every cable and stuff like that. Or do you guys have like jobs when you set up, and everyone in the band knows like what their job is, and when you tear down and stuff like that? Do you?
We like to work.
How does that work?
Yeah, so there was a while where Chris was running the backtracks, so that was a great learning moment for him, because he got to see sort of how that interacts with what he's doing, and he was sort of being the music director, and he was just like hitting start and stop for each one, and so he got good at figuring out how to set up the computer and tear it down. So now that I'm running it, he just kind of once he's done tearing down, he'll just run over and help me tear down the computer and sort of the backtracks and stuff. And then I'll clean up my stuff and then Lauren's stuff. And she usually, when she's done, runs to merch and starts.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's cool for you guys, because that's a big part of it. You guys have great merch. And
we try to get her out there right away.
Yeah. So that's really cool. Now so I've been in a couple bands where it's like every cable and every microphone is labeled, and and every mic stand is always used in the same way, and every mic is always used in the same way. Do you guys kind of run that way as well?
Not really. We're maybe on the like right in the middle of that. Like Lauren will have her specific stuff that she likes and her wireless mic, and I mean with the 3-piece, it's just we all have our own gear, and then when it comes to the live stuff, maybe like the 2 backing tracks will switch mics or something. We're not too like militant on that.
Yeah. I was in a 9-piece like a funk band.
Yeah.
Where 6 of us sang.
Oh,
and
geez.
so everyone, like, we had every microphone labeled so that we didn't share mics and stuff like that. It was just kind of, and it was funny because, like, I don't know, we had a trailer that we pulled, and fairly big, like probably enough to do a 500 audience show, like a pretty big PA system.
Yeah.
And when you get done setting all that up, it's like every input on the 24 channel mixer was filled. And we got it, like we had this huge tub of just cables, right? Yeah. And by the time we were all set up, we had like 2 spares, you know? Yeah. It's just crazy, like how many cables, and when you kind of have like a bigger band and stuff like that.
Yeah, it gets crazy.
All right, so let's just call it a day. Thank you so much for chatting with me and stuff. I feel
Absolutely. Like anytime.
A lot of good information. Maybe if you could leave us with a couple of just quick pieces of advice playing live. Do you got any nuggets of wisdom for people out there?
Playing live or mixing your own thing, or what do you?
Mixing your own kind of band. Like I think one of the things you did say that I thought is really good is to, like, if someone else is mixing you for the first time, really communicate what you want.
Exactly.
One of the things I think it's really important. Like a lot of times, sometimes those kind of people just kind of bowl you over, and they're just really busy, and you kind of have to tell them, hey, this is what we sound like, and sort of thing.
I mean that's definitely a great point. A lot of these, you're stepping into their house. This is my board. This is my room. I mix in this place all the time. I think with that, it's just sort of having tact and, building a relationship with that person as much as you can beforehand, and just say, hey, break it down to like, hey, the vocals need to be out front. That's what we want. And then next we want those backing tracks, to pop through. But if you can have as much of that stuff pre-planned and in your own control beforehand. So if, we're going to have all of the mixes that we want for our ears, then we can use the touch mix, have that all set up, have it saved in the touch mix. And so when we pop on stage, we're pretty close. We're maybe 90% there. And then you have to sort of adjust for the room and the different things like that. But as much planning that you can do beforehand is going to save you the headache for, like, the reason you said, hey, we're having a little trouble on our end, meaning the venue. You guys get ready. Oh, now you only have 2 songs you can play. It's like, at that point, as much as you can have set up, it's like, hey, we're ready to go. That's on you guys. But as much as you can have set up, that'll sort of leave you feeling confident, because then you have to get ready to play. So you don't want to be all frazzled and like flustered trying to just get the sound. So I would just say work on planning and run through it almost like a drill in your rehearsal space if you're gonna be mixing yourself.
Yeah, I could talk to you all day about all this stuff. So,
right.
Thank you so much. I
for
totally
sure, Brad.
And hopefully we can do this again sometime and like touch on some other subjects. But again, everyone, thanks for watching. Check out Aloha Radio on Instagram. You dropped some new music recently, and you have some new stuff coming out.
Yep, December 11th we'll have a new single with a hot feature on there. So check it out.
Hot feature? What does that mean?
There's going to be a feature on there. We've never done a feature. We have
Ah,
somebody else. We have somebody else on the track. So
I
we're
see.
pretty
Okay.
excited. Yeah.
So like Chance the Rapper or something like that.
Yeah. Exactly.
Justin Bieber.
Yep.
Awesome.
Getting warmer.
A featured musician or artist on the track.
Yeah.
Awesome. December 11th. So that's next Friday?
Next Friday. Yeah.
Awesome.
Pumped.
Yeah. Awesome. All right, cool. So, hey, thanks again, Alex. And
Sure.
you have a nice day. And
You
everyone, thanks for watching. And we'll talk to you soon.
Later,
Take care.
guys.